So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Knocks to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi Ute. Such a joy to come your way this beautiful Monday morning. So, how was your weekend? Hope you had a restful one. I know it can be stressful. Somebody once said to me that there is no rest on this side of eternity. So true. But then, honestly, it's your choice. While I know that we're all so busy, you can choose to have a balanced life. You can choose to say to yourself, at this point, I slam my brakes. I just choose to slam my brakes. So this morning, Knocks to Nuggets. Thank you, everyone joining me. You know what I will always ask you to do. Love this video, share it, like it, pass your comments. Tell somebody about Knocks to Nuggets. Give me a share of your time. Let me adorn your Facebook wall. It will be an awesome privilege. Thank you so much, everyone who is joining me live, and those that will watch after. Thank you. So this morning, I want to start with a story. Now, I read this story. I think I'm beginning to love telling stories now. But I read this story yesterday, and I just said to share it with you. And it's very instructive, so just follow me on this story. It says a gentleman was walking through an elephant camp, and he spotted that the elephants were not being kept in cages. They were held by the use of chains. So you know the size of an elephant. So you expect for you to keep an elephant in check, you need that very strong chain or a very secure cage. But none of that was in place. All that was holding them back was a thin piece of rope tied to one of their legs. So the man kept looking at the elephant and was wondering, what's going on here? He was totally confused that this elephant and this chain, it doesn't add up. They can just, with one kick, knock off the chain. But then they are there. They didn't even try to break the chain. They didn't try to go free. So curiously, he went to the man that was keeping the elephants, who was standing just nearby, and asked the man, why are these elephants not trying to escape? And the trainer just smiled and said, when they were very young and much smaller, we used the same size of rope to tie them at that age. Now, understand that at that age, that rope was strong enough to hold them. So at that age, they tried to free themselves. They couldn't because the rope was holding them. But as they grew up, they got conditioned to believing that they cannot break away. And they believe that the rope can still hold them. So they never tried to break free. The only reason the elephants were not breaking free and escaping from the camp was that over the time, they adopted the belief that it was just not possible. My question to you, my darling intelligence audience, is this: what is holding you back? That's the question. No matter how the world tries to hold you back, always know that if you believe you can go free, you will go free. If you believe you can be successful, you will be successful. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. It's all about your mind. And that's the challenge. The elephants just believed that they have been held down and nothing can happen. So they did not even try to free themselves. Many people are in that state. They have tried something over time and it didn't work. And then they just conclude, I can't succeed. Who told you that lie? You can succeed, and you will succeed if you decide to succeed. So this morning, I've come your way to talk to you about the seasons of life. The seasons of life. What are the seasons of life? That's the question. What are the seasons, and what season are you in? What's the season? A season is a division of the year, and it's based on changes in the weather, the ecology, and the number of daylight hours in a given region. So on Earth, seasons are a result of Earth's orbit around the sun and the Earth's axial tilt relative to the ecliptic plane. Now let the geographers interpret. What am I saying? Seasons are a period associated with a phase or a certain activity of agriculture. So you have the planting season, you have the harvesting season. What's a season? A season is a period in which an animal engages in some activity like migration. So when we see animals migrating, we can tell the season it is. Sometimes, so on this side, we have basically two seasons, the dry season, the rainy season. For some areas, they have 4 seasons. But the truth is this, whether you have 2 seasons or 4 seasons, every season has its own peculiarity. So let's look at those that have the 4 seasons. In the spring, so they have the spring, they have the summer, they have the autumn, they have the winter. Fine, 4 seasons. In the spring, what happens? The weather begins to get warmer, and the trees and other plants begin to grow new leaves in the spring. In the summer, it's the hottest season. Usually it's long, depending on where you are. Sometimes it's not so long. And usually you have sunny days in the summer. In the fall, the weather becomes mild and the leaves start falling and from a lot of trees. And then in the winter, the cold season. Actually, the winter have the shortest days, so 4 seasons. And for us in the side of the world, we have basically 2, the cold season and the hot season. And a lot of times the hot season are almost becoming all year long. For those in the hotter part, they don't even understand what the cold season is. It's maybe just a very short period, maybe 1 or 2 months, and they are back to the heat. Now, the truth is this: seasons are a part of life. Maybe I want to repeat it again. Seasons are a part of life. There is no point, honestly, there is no point fighting the seasons. Absolutely no point. Whether you are in the summer, winter, autumn, spring, hot or rainy, whatever season you were in, there is no point fighting the season. What should you do with the season? Understand it and flow with it. I know even God understands the seasons. And in Genesis it says, while the earth remains. In other words, as a certainty, you cannot wish away seasons. God said, now this is God himself speaking. He said, while the earth remains, as long as we are still on earth, there will be seasons. It says, while the earth remains, there will be seed time, there will be harvest, there will be cold, there will be heat, there will be summer, there will be winter, there will be day, there will be night. They will not cease as long as the earth remains. So if God himself has said that, why are you fighting the seasons? You know, as I thought about seasons, which I've been thinking of for quite a while, I saw Proverbs. Now, if you don't even read the Bible every day, please go and read the Proverbs. In Proverbs, you just see all the nuggets to live. Go and read the Proverbs. You need it in your life. It shapes you. It puts you on track. And it says in Proverbs, it says, go to the ant and go and learn. Those little organisms that you can, animals that you can just put your finger on, ants, and kill, insects. It said, go to them and go and learn. Go to the insects, those tiny, boneless creatures of God. Go to them and go and learn. They consider their ways. Said, consider the ways of the ant and be what? Wise. That means in studying the ant is wisdom. It says they have no guide, they have no overseer, they have no ruler, but they have learned to provide their meat in summer and they gather their food in harvest. That's the ant. That's the ant. Yes, sir, it's all about your mind. Seasons are about your mind. If you decide you will succeed or not, it's your choice. So why fight the seasons? Absolutely. Why fight the seasons? So looking at the ants, it says they understand the season and they know when to gather their food. They will not go out in the rainy season to go and gather food because they know that rain, the water, the wetness of the ground will kill them. So they will not go in the rain and go and gather food. They know. How come we don't know? Now, in that Genesis, something struck me. For every Christian listening to me, he said there is seed time but he didn't say there is harvest time. He said there is seed time and there is harvest. In other words, you know when you are planting your seed, but you never know when the harvest will come. So keep planting. In the morning, sow your seed. In the afternoon, don't hold back your hand. You never know when the harvest will come. When you are being good, please keep on being good. You never know when you will need the harvest of somebody being good to you. There's no point being a thatcher or a terrorist around the whole place. You never know when you will need a help. So learn to lend a helping hand. Learn to sow seeds of kindness. Learn to sow seeds of money. Learn to sow seeds of your smile. Learn to sow seeds of helping somebody. You see an elderly person carrying something that's too heavy and you can help. Bend down and help. Just live your life helping, because you never know when you would need that seed. In the morning, sow your seed. In the afternoon, don't withhold your hand. There is seed time, but there is no harvest time. Nobody knows when the harvest will come. So let's come back to the seasons of life. I might have to continue this next week, but let's just come back to the seasons of life. Understand that there are seasons and just learn to flow with it. There is a time when every life has seasons. Every single life has seasons. My prayer is that you will not waste your season. There's a time of abundance where almost everything you touch just turns to gold. You are suddenly sought after. Everybody is looking for you. Money is coming in from the left and from the right. That's a beautiful season of life. But guess what? That season is not forever. What do you need to do? Like the ants, gather and be wise. Be prudent in your season of abundance. And there's that season when everything seems tough and tall, when it looks as if the heavens is brass, the earth is bronze, and you can't seem to penetrate anything. When you are in that season, calm down and know that God is with you and that this season will not last. So just know it. So when you understand that there are seasons and you know that it will pass, then you are relaxed. You will not get a high blood pressure because you know that it is for a time. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's hard, but just sit down and know that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Seasons of life. Imagine Abraham. Till today, we're talking about Abraham. Till the end of the world, we'll keep talking about Abraham. But Abraham became a father at age 100. Put on your imagination. So, a 100-year-old man going to buy Pampers, not for his great-great-grandchild, but for his own son. Put on your imagination. Did God love him less? No. Did he do something wrong? No. That was just season. God gave him a promise. God told him you will be a father. And he believed God. But it took so many years. And then at age 100, even Sarah was too ashamed to announce that she was pregnant. At age 100, Abraham became a father. At an age when many people have even forgotten about having children. In fact, they're not just forgotten about having children. In today's world, let's put it in today. How many people are 100 years old? I had the privilege of celebrating a 100-year-old with a very fantastic grandma, great grandma, last year. And for me, it was 8. That was my first time of knowing personally an 100-year-old person and being able to sit by her and take a picture with that cake, writing happy 100th birthday, centenarian. That was my first. If you have had opportunity of being with several, I love you, but that was my first. And I kept sitting there and I'm like, wow. Then I just thought about it this morning. Imagine her becoming a mother now. If I would run. But that was when Abraham became a father. Seasons of life. Colonel Sanders, we all talk about KFC. He didn't start at age 10 or 15. Well, at age 65, when everyone seemingly is going into retirement, that was when he started. That was the beginning of life for him. And today, years after he's dead, we are still talking about KFC. There's KFC in almost every nation. So when you want the fast food, you think KFC. And it's available. But the person that started it was age 65, 60 and 5. That's not the age to start. That's not the age to start something new, but he did. Seasons of life. Steve Sutherland said, I believe that winter is tough, but spring is coming. I believe that there is a growing season, and I think that you realize that in life you grow and you get better. So there is a growing season. So I don't know what season of life you're talking about. The three basic seasons of life, three very basic seasons everybody will identify with and everybody will understand. But the key issue I want to leave with you today is understand the seasons of life and understand God loves you particularly, and his mind is full of you. And whatever you are going through now, it's only a passing through, and it will take you through. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Your life calendar and my life calendar are not the same. So don't judge your life by my own achievements, and I will not judge my life by your own achievements. We are different. Even twins are different. How much more those who are not twins? How much more people that just met on the journeys of life? Life is interesting, life is beautiful, but you don't need to stress about life, because there is God who orchestrates your life's journeys. He knows your end from the beginning. He has a plan for you. He says, calm down. I have you in my thoughts. My thoughts towards you are thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end, a hope and a future. God is thinking about you. So you might not have it together according to you, but you are in God's mind. You are in God's plan. Even if where you are today is a result of mistakes that you know you have made, my Bible still tells me that all things, including your mistakes, are working together for your good. They are all errand boys by God to make your life a better place. So I want to stop here today as I challenge you to decide to succeed, to decide to move on, to refuse to fight the seasons, to understand the season you are in and make the best of it. Trust me, God loves you. God has you in mind. Yes, you might be in a dry season. It will pass. The beautiful summer is coming. So relax and know that God is in absolute control. I've come your way today to just encourage you. In the seasons of life, God is the author. He orchestrates your life's journey. And until I come your way next week, Monday, 7:45, still talking about the seasons of life. Don't ever forget this. If you forget everything I have said, don't forget this one. And you guess it right. It's together that we win. I love you. I appreciate you. See you on Monday, 7:45. Share this video, like it, pass your comments. I would love to hear from you. And until then, I love you. God bless you.